Hello, guys. So tonight's episode of Rise and Vibes is not sponsored. However, if you would like to sponsor an episode of Rise and Vibes, please feel free to reach out to me via email, DM, text, or if you know me, pull up on me. And I'll be happy to get you the information on how you can sponsor a show. So, tonight's guest is Retro Powder Coating. You guys have been waiting for this episode for some time now. I can't lie, I've been waiting for it as well. I love, first of all the guests, but I love when we can finally speak with someone who you guys have actually been waiting to hear from. You guys had a lot of questions for Retro Powder Coating. While we wait for him to join, though, make sure that if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you go ahead and click the link in my bio and subscribe to the channel. And because you guys know that we have been doing Rise and Vibes now for 5 years. Well, September 2nd made 5 years, so it's a little over 5 years. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you've missed a lot of episodes. So go do that now while we wait for tonight's guest to join. Let's see. I think I saw him join. Jump on. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, you can do that by clicking the link in my bio. If you missed any of tonight's episode of Rise and Vibes, you can also do that. Hey,
Good evening. Good evening.
what's
How you doing?
up?
How you doing?
Long time no see.
I know it's been a minute. How's everything?
Man, I won't do one bit of complaining. First, I want to tell you thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and let us get in your business a little bit.
Definitely. I wish I wanted to be at the shop for this, so I can actually show you guys some cool stuff and whatnot. But we have this storm coming, so I had to be home. Take care of home first.
Right.
But yeah, I wasn't gonna miss it. We'll definitely catch up on a volume 2 to this sit down, and I'll show you some pretty dope work that we do on the daily. But thank you for having me. Always a pleasure. Always support you. And I'm ready to rock and roll.
So first I'll start off with one of my questions, and then I'll get right into the fans' questions, okay?
Yep.
All right. So tell me how you got started. For those that are not aware of how you got started, how did you get started being into cars and eventually being into powder coating?
Okay, so sorry. The car aspect, we were pretty much born into it. My dad started Speed World, which is now Speed and Truck World, in 1972 in New York. So we were pretty much born into the automotive industry. All we know is cars. All we know is drag racing, trucks, whatever, anything in that form or nature. And then when COVID came around, we've always outsourced powder coating. So, and it came down to like having to trust others and deal with others' work and stuff like that. So like if you were to come to Speed and Truck World and wanted your lift powder coated, we would outsource it at that point. And then if something did go wrong, they're coming back to Speed and Truck World. They don't care who did the powder coating work. They don't care whatnot. They paid one shop to do it, and we ran into some like issues with it. So me being the creative person that I was like, hey, let me give this a whirl. And 4 years later, we're here.
Right.
And I took the bat and I went, knocked the home run out the park and just ran with it. And I haven't looked back. And it's something I'm telling you now, I wish I would have done earlier because I love it. I have fun with it. It's a way of me to like express myself through each individual job. So to me, it's like you never know when you'll find your calling in life, but don't ever give up.
Right. What did your dad say when you said, okay, I'm gonna try this?
I mean, they've always known I've had that other side to me, like that creative aspect to me. So it was kind of like, listen, if you're going to do it, do it.
Right.
Like give it your all and go as hard as you possibly can with it. And that's pretty much how I took it and I ran with it.
So now
yeah.
do they send you all the powder coating from Speed and Truck World?
Of course. Of course, of course. Of course, of
So
course.
you got way more business than you know what to do with.
That's for sure, for sure.
Do you ever sit back and look at it and like, dang, I'm so blessed. How did I get here?
Honestly, every day. Honestly, every day, because every job's different. And then we have big jobs, little jobs, basic jobs, all the way to like full custom, like crazy jobs. And I mean, you look at my resume and we'll say just in like the donk side of the world right now, I got a pretty mean portfolio over there.
Right.
And I truly appreciate every one of those guys, because the combinations that I get to do is way, when I say way different than most powder coaters get to actually do, is like,
Right.
because of the combinations, the color combos and stuff like that. Like a lot of coders that I talk to on the regular are like, man, where do you get some of these combos from? I'm like, this is South Florida. Like, this is the wild, wild west when it comes to cars and trucks and stuff like that. Like, we're very bright and we're very want to be the main attraction. And so it makes what I do really easy, if you want the honest truth, because it's like we're mixing oranges and greens and purples and pinks and like all the cool stuff. So at the end of the day, like, I get to have fun, and that's what it really boils down to. Like, I literally get to have fun every day, bringing people's visions to to reality. So it's like, to me, that's the coolest aspect of it. Is like, I'm such a part of so many builds, whether it's hot rods, trucks, cars, boats, airboats, scooters, bicycles, four-wheelers, a little bit of everything. So it's like, that's to where like that keeps me motivated and keeps me going, is just like being able to be a part of so many things.
Right. Right. What's the hardest part of what you do?
Getting people to understand the difference between a powder coating job, like just getting something powder coated, and having it professionally done.
Right.
Because powder coating, at the end of the day, like, yeah, I make it look like it's an art form, and I try to make it look as close to paint as I possibly can. But there's a lot that goes into doing that the right way. Because at the end of the day, it still has to be powder coat. Like, powder coat is supposed to be durable. It's supposed to hold up to the elements. There's like a lot more than just making this part purple or making this part green. Like, it's supposed to do its purpose, and it's supposed to hold up to impacts. It's supposed to take wear and tear. Like, there's a lot that goes into that aspect of it. And I feel like a lot of people don't really understand how much work goes into turning, we'll just say like a set of wheels, for instance, to take an old set of wheels and bring them back to life. Like, it's not just to snap your finger and put some powder on it and it's beautiful. Like, the prep work is everything in powder coating. So just like it's very, very similar to paint. It's just a different process. So like the prep, like everything you do in the prep work of painting the car or powder coating a part is very similar. So you get out of it what you put into it, is how I can explain it. So like, if your prep work on your paint job sucks, your paint job's going to suck. So if you, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to water it down, but just the same thing with your powder. If your prep work sucks on the powder, like, it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. And it's not going to look the way it's supposed to look. But I also feel like custom powder coating right now is at like an all-time high. And like, the creativity behind a lot of these coders nowadays is like what really drives me to continue to push the bar, try to create custom colors, create crazy schemes and two-tone work and all that stuff. So it's like, I feel like we're just scratching the surface. I think in the next 4 to 5 years, like, there's going to be powder coat jobs that are going to be flopping paint colors, like how these pearls flop and stuff like that, because that's where this industry is going right now. And I'm excited. Like, that type of stuff just keeps me. I'm excited for that end of it. So yeah, I think it's go ahead.
Who are some of the people you look up to in the powder coating world?
Man, there's a lot. You want the honest truth? We have a group chat, and it's like 25.
Yeah, got a group chat.
Yeah, we got a group chat with like 25 of like the top coders in the country, United States, Canada, and we feed off of each other every day. Like we kind of throw jabs at each other, like, yo, check this out, check this out. And we always try to one up each other. And that, like, to me, like keeps it fun, because it's like when I see you do something, it's like, okay, now I got one for you. I'm gonna come back with something a little bit different or something a little bit harder. And like to me, it's never a competition, and nothing in life is a competition. If you can't learn from somebody, you're doing something wrong, because you're supposed to learn every day. And so yeah, there's a group of them, and they all know who they are. And like I said, we feed off of each other all day. We give each other a lot of hell, but yeah, we have fun, man. And it's like that's my motivation. Is like they'll come to me and be like, "Yo, check this out." I'm like, "Okay, I'll be right back." Like, watch this. I'm about to drop a 2-tone frame or something crazy or something, do something nuts with one of the Banshees. And so yeah, it's pretty much, like I said, I feed off a lot of people. I mean, I take notes from people in all aspects of powder coating, whether they're just starting. Like, I'm not scared to learn. I'm not scared to fail, because that's one thing with powder coating. Like, it will run you up the wall. You'll have a week to where like everything just doesn't go right. Like, it's just part of the actual coating experience. Like, so like one thing with powder coating compared to paint, like we have one shot, one kill is how I call it. So like once you put that part in the oven, when it comes out, it's either right or it's wrong. And there's no touching it up. There's no spot blending it. It's completely stripping the part and completely starting all over. So that's like another aspect that people don't really understand with the powder coating thing is like, yeah, I make these suspension kits and I make these things look great. But if one thing goes wrong, like it's a complete redo. Like it is completely start all over, start from scratch, put everything in the acid tank, strip it all, and start with bare metal again. So it's like that's the bad side of powder coating. And like if you don't see that side, you'll never get to the good side. So it's part of learning. Anything that you're going to do in life, you just got to learn, enjoy it, have fun with it.
What's one thing you wish that you knew when you first started?
Um, Actually, if I had to say it, is how big the actual powder coating industry is. Like I've always only understood like or knew about like the automotive side of it, but like you really look at it, like dumpsters are powder coated, handrails are powder
You
coated,
say
table,
dumpster?
yeah, dumpsters, handrails. Like there's a most of the things that you would think like, oh, that's just green paint. Like 99% of like those industrial jobs, that's all powder coated. So like the powder coating market is huge, whether it's parts on a spaceship, parts on a car, like it's a huge market. Like it is like boat parts, like it's endless. Like, and I really never knew how big it was until I got into it. And like, if I would have known that from the get go, like it probably, like I said, it probably would have been something I would have got into a while ago.
Right. You probably you be like, dang, I missed out on a
Oh,
lot of money.
yeah, 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 pretty much.
That's so crazy how like different things like even me with selling the G body parts. I missed out on so much money just limiting myself to G body parts, or just
Yeah.
when I started selling car jewelry, when I started selling all these different things. I'm like, dang, I done been missing out on a lot of
Yeah.
money.
You don't really know what it is, like what you're getting into until you get into it. Until you really put all your effort into something, like you're never really going to understand it because you're not going after it. Like it might be a side hustle or it might be this or that, but like once you give something your all and all the dedication, like it's just gonna open your eyes to like endless opportunities and different ways you can go about it. And like a perfect example is like with powder coating is like I'm a big helping hand. Like I get questions from coders all day long, all around the country, all around the world. Actually, he'll probably be here in a little bit. There's a gentleman that I've been helping from South America over like the last couple months, teaching them how to coat and stuff. And they're very limited on supplies they can get over there. So having to translate what we have here to what he can get there to make it work for him was the first whole learning curve. But once we figured that out, we've been rocking and rolling, like back and forth all day long. And like to me, it's just cool that people from around the world have the same passion and love, and always willing to help each other.
So he's one of the only powder coaters where he is?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. So he's tapping into
Yeah, but
I need
like
to go there.
it's a different market over there. So he's like, he looks at like some of the stuff I do. He's like, man, I want to do stuff like that, and it's like they don't have that market over there. So like he has to go after what, like they're more on like motorcycles and stuff over there. So he goes after that market, and just explaining to him different things and getting them used to understanding how powder works and like the right way of going about it and the wrong way of going about it. Because my biggest thing is like, if I do a job for you, we'll say, like, I want to see you again to do another job. I don't want to see you again to do that same job over because I did it wrong.
Right.
So it's all about consistency, taking pride in what you do, and having a dedication to putting out quality work.
Right. I This is what I will say. First of all, I believe in giving people their flowers while they're here to smell them. So I just love you and have
I appreciate that, Kate.
ever since I've known you. And one thing I can't honestly say that one thing that makes me love you is you are really have always been really genuine when it came to me. You are who you are. And I can't say that about a lot of people in this car world, right?
Yep.
They pretend to be something they're not, and then they finally show you who they really are. And for me, you've always been the same person with me,
I'm
and
the
I appreciate
same old K-Stab on and off TV.
Right.
Always will be. Always. I'll never change. I'll tell you that.
Right.
It's always been love, and you know that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it always.
I appreciate you so much. A lot of people had questions about the health scare you had. And I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that.
Yeah,
or
I definitely will, because it was kind of caught me off guard myself. And so as people know, like, I deal with the 20-foot oven that's 400 degrees all day. I have a huge shop. The only downside to powder coating is you can't have fans blowing.
Right.
Because it's just strictly powder until you put it in the oven. And this summer it's been hotter than it's ever been in Florida.
Right.
And I started to deal with a real bad heat rash. And I kept pushing it off, trying to make sure everybody else was happy, taking care of everybody else, put myself on the back burner. I let it get infected, and then it took over my whole arm, like up onto my neck, all types of stuff. I had to take a break, was taking steroids, was doing all types of stuff. Like, I just didn't refuse to quit. Like, I refused to give up and stop trying to make everybody else happy. And it kind of taught me something, like, yo, listen, you're getting older, slow your roll. Like, these people respect you and love what you do, and like, they'll understand. And the ones that literally stood, I had work at the shop for like 3 months for some people, and they didn't call and bother me. They understood exactly what was going on, and they're like, listen, we're not having anybody else do this, so go get better. And when everything is good, take care of me, and then we're good to go. It's no stress, it's no harm, it's no foul. And one of my biggest supporters, and one of your favorite people also, I love the man to death, my dog Phoenix, my dog Mike. When I tell you, one of the most stand-up, when I appreciate that man more than anything, he randomly will just pop by, brings us waters, brings us Gatorade, just comes to check on us. Doesn't even care if he's dropping work off, picking work up, just genuine good person, great-hearted person, and like cares about me as a person. And like you said, that's hard to come by nowadays. So like, that is a blessing. I love that man to death. It's a blessing to have all the connections that I have in the automotive world. So like, everybody that I deal with kind of understood. They're like, listen, like, without you, like, we can't do what we're doing. So get yourself right, take care of that. Like, if you got to work slower right now, work slower. It is what it is. Like, we can't have you die out here. Like, because who's going to do our powder coating work? So what are we going to do?
Because like your boy Trump said, people dying that ain't never died before.
Yeah.
We can't do that. But also, it's because people understand your work ethic. They know if there's any way humanly possible that you can get it done, you're going to get it done. So if it's not happening, that means that something has to be wrong.
Yep. And like, I'm very transparent with everybody. Like, I'm very open. Like, one thing, like, you know how I am. Like, I don't sugarcoat nothing. Like, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'll admit when I'm down, like when I'm out, like there's like, to me, transparency is the best thing you can do in business, because then it covers all corners of the earth. Like if I'm very open with you and tell you, hey, listen, I'm not 100% right now.
Right.
Like I can't fully 100% help you right now. Like
Right.
I can give me like 2 weeks or 3 weeks on a job that normally I'd have done in 4 to 5 days. Like right now I can probably do it in like 7 to 10 or maybe 10 to 14. And
Right.
when I tell you, like 99.9% of the people that I talk to going through this whole thing, not one of them even questioned it.
Right. Because they understand.
And that just showed me as like, okay, listen, like, because it's hard to tell yourself as like doing, especially with the demand. Like I have a crazy demand. Like that's crazy, like a crazy demand, and like I hate letting people down. Like I hate it. Like to me, like it drives me up the wall. Like I won't sleep right at night knowing that I told this person their parts are going to be done on Tuesday, and I got to call them Wednesday morning and tell them they're not done. Like I'm not sleeping Tuesday night. Like that's driving me up the wall. Like that's just me. Like when I tell you I love coding, like I love powder coating,
Right.
and it's just like one of those things. And like to understand that the people actually truly understand and care about you as a person besides that like opened my eyes to a whole different vision of everything. I'm like, okay, well, relax. Like don't kill yourself. Every job, one job at a time. Let's go. Let's get through this, and we'll make sure that everybody's good. And that's what we've been doing.
Well, the other thing too is that I think when things start to go wrong with your health and with your life in general, you start to see who really actually gives a care about you, right?
Of course.
So I'm pretty sure this whole situation has taught you, okay, so there were some people that you really actually thought cared about you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it let you see that they kind of really didn't. Yep. And then there were some people you thought, okay, they're all right, but then they stepped up and they was like, you was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you mentioned Mike, I'm pretty sure you knew he cared about you.
Always.
But when that happened, you was like, dang.
Always. When I tell you, like I have frames that I have to do for Mike.
Right.
Like I'm backed up on frames for Mike right now. And he was, honestly, he goes, listen, none of this matters, dude. Honestly. Right. Like, cause I would call him like, yo, this, that. He's like, none of this, like, honestly, like this doesn't matter, dude. Right. Like if you're not here to do this, who's going to do this? Right. So like, relax, stop stressing that. That's just adding more stress to what you have going on right now. Like understand, like you're going to be all right. This is going to be all right. And everything's going to be good. And you ain't got to worry about nothing, dude. And it's like, right. It's hard to tell yourself that though sometimes. Yeah. Like personally, it's hard to tell yourself as an individual, like these people are going to wait for you and they're going to understand. Like it's hard to tell yourself that. Like you don't, like I said, I'm one to like, it drives me insane to tell you, like, if I have to call you on Wednesday and tell you your parts aren't going to be ready till Thursday, and I told you Wednesday, like, that's like, but it happens, and that's life. And like you said, you get to understand like who's really there and who understands you and who respects you as a person.
They don't have no other choice. Okay, you can take it back and take it somewhere else. That's
pretty much
awesome.
it.
You know what? Why I'm so... I'm sorry, go ahead.
And it's no harm, no foul. I tell people all the time, like, listen, if I can't fit your time schedule, like, it's no harm, no foul. But, like, I'm not going to sacrifice quality or my name to give you something half-assed. Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to if something does go wrong with it, you're not going to tell the whole side of the story.
Right.
So I'd rather say no and refuse a job than to take a job half-assed and give it back to you half-assed.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then what made me so proud about that conversation you said Mike had with you, because it sounds like just what I told him. I'm like, Mike, listen, at the end of the day, how Glorilla say, at the end of the day gonna end.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And if you aren't able to get to everybody, and you gotta start telling people no. You gotta choose wisely. You gotta tell people no. Unfortunately, I know it breaks your heart to have to tell people no.
It does. It does.
You have to tell them no.
It does. It literally drives me up the wall sometimes. I'm like, geez, like if I had 4 more hours today, like if I had 4 more hours in this 24, like, but that's just like you said, at the end of the day's going to end, and just like, you got to accept it. And like I said, but I can't, like, it's honestly, truly, like, it's a blessing. When I tell you, like, a blessing, like, the way that everybody supports me and rocks with me and gives me the time that I need to deliver what they want, like, it's a blessing. Like, I literally, like you said, every day, like, I walk into that shop and I'm like, yes, like, today we're going to kill it. Today I'm putting a smile on his face, her face, his face, her face, and let's go. Like, and that's how I look at it. Like, to me, it's more about expressing it myself as a person and putting a smile on my customer's face that, like, makes me happy.
Right. Now, I ain't gonna rush you, but I'm supposed to have got a cup like 3 years ago. I ain't gonna rush you though. But that's just saying. I just want to throw that out there.
I got you. I got you. I gotta do a whole new batch because you want to know what? I still have Coco's cup.
Oh wow.
She never got hers. I got you.
As far as powder coating, what all did you have to go through to learn how to do it, or was it just trial and error? Did you teach yourself? How did that happen?
Trial and error. I'm very hands-on, hard-headed. You tell me that's hot, I'm going to touch it to figure out how hot it is. And that was pretty much it. And like when I first got into it, I only wanted to know the right way. So like I followed a lot of like the top coders, and like I paid attention. I would screenshot different things and just a way they went about things. And then I would go to my dad's store, grab old parts and try things and fail and fail and fail and fail until I got it right.
So you're self-taught.
Yes, and I'm going to put that out there. Fail.
Right.
You have to fail to get it right. Like, that's just part of life. Like, if you're not trying hard enough, if you're not failing.
Right.
And that's where I came up with just pushing the limits of powder coating. And
you know what? You do some amazing work, though. I look at your work and I be like, oh my God.
Thank you.
I can't wait to get there and powder coat.
Yeah. Whenever you're down here, I already told you, we'll get you in the booth and teach you some ways.
I'll be in there, but I'm gonna have to come in the winter because you say in the summer it'd be so hot.
Yes, definitely. Do not come January and February. That's it. The rest of the months down here, don't come. It's brutal. It is brutal.
So, what about work-life balance? How do you manage that?
I feel like I work 24/7, 365.
Dang.
I mean, because believe it or not, like, to me, it's more than coding. Like, I can tell you, like, perfect example. Like, we'll start with Nava's car. It took us, I don't even know. I think Nava worked with me for 7 days, picking color combos and going over spraying samples and this and that and phone calls and pictures going back and forth and just putting like combos together. Like my phone's always on. I always answer DMs. I'm always here to give an opinion or help or whatever. So it's like, to me, this isn't really work. Like I said, I got blessed to find something I really love, and it's not work. To me, it's fun. It gets stressful at times, but like I have fun doing it. So to me, it's like I never stop. And I mean, between powder coating and then racing and then family, it's like it just go. Just got to balance it one way or another.
What's one thing you wish you could change about the car world?
If I had to pick anything that I can change about the car world, I wish people would go back to building cars they want to build for themselves.
Oh my God. You almost made me fall out this chair.
Because I feel like, I've been around cars my whole life, and I feel like it used to be everybody built a car that when they walked out the door in the morning, they looked at it and it made them smile.
Right.
Now I feel like people build a car to walk out the door to get a like.
They're doing it for clout.
So
they're doing it for clout now.
I wouldn't even call it clout. I would just call it more for
attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
And listen, you're either a car guy or you're not a car guy.
Car guys are guys with cars.
That's it. Listen, no harm, no foul. I understand it, but like if you're building, we'll say anything, like a truck or a old school or whatever. Like personally, like building a car, you want to know everything that's there, right? Like you want to know what this bolt does or that bolt does or where this goes or where that goes. Like, well, me personally, but a lot of the stuff nowadays is like, oh, I need this or I need that because so and so got it or this person has that or this person. Like, what do you want? Like, what do you want for your car? This is your car. You put the gas in it, you drive it, you park it, you wash it. It's yours. So like, if you want it blue, do it blue. Doesn't matter if his is green or hers is purple. Like, if you want a blue car, build a blue car, man. Like, that's just the thing. So I wish people would go back to a little bit more of the passion and love for it than the hype and all that stuff.
I had a homeboy that said, boy, we used to build cars so we can get the girls. Now it's like dudes building cars for other dudes.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
But he's right, though. Like, everybody's building cars for everybody else's approval. You know what? I told Whips by Wade, right? He was like, KP, you'll never post about your car you're building. I was like, bro, I don't post about the car because to me, I don't have a car. I feel like if you don't have oil pressure, you ain't even got a car.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's nothing to say. But he was like, okay, well, people are invested in your build, so post about it from time to time. You know, give them a little something. But I just like, I see those people and they post every single thing, and it's cool. You pay your phone bill. It's your social media.
Of course.
But I just feel like you can kind of tell the people that are really doing it because they love it, and the people who are doing it because, like you said, they want to do it for a like. I can't hear you. Your phone.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so like back in growing up, like we used to have tower shops down here, which was like the Friday night hangout for all the cars. And like I remember people coming into the shop and like buying stuff to get ready for Friday night to go show off their car. Like before social media, before any of that stuff, like you had to pull up to the parking lot and everybody got to see what you came out with this week or whatever. And like that to me was the fun time. Like, because you didn't see everything before it's done. Like you would have to wait till Friday night to show up to see what so and so did, or if they changed their wheels, or this and that, or whatever. So gave it like a little bit more of a surprise aspect to it. Now it's like, oh, I did this, I did that, picture. The whole thing, like when the car comes out, you already seen it.
Right.
So it's like I seen the whole thing already. Like there's no element of surprise no more.
To me, the fact that while I'm building my car, like I even hated when my car was at a well-known shop in Atlanta, and when people pulled up, they could see my car, right? Yep. So I'm like, I might as well go ahead and drop the pictures and the videos because they already know what color it is, right?
Yep.
So let me drop those. But when people now ask me, what kind of motor you're putting in? I haven't said what kind of motor I'm putting in. It's none of your business. You'll see it. What color?
You'll see it when you see it.
Wait, what color interior you're going? I haven't said. You'll see it when you see it. I forgot. I picked it out so long ago. I honestly don't even remember. I told Stitch by Slick we picked out a color, right, for my interior. I don't even remember what color we picked.
I seen it. You showed it to me.
I showed it to you. No, I did.
Yeah, you did.
I did. Oh my God, I can't even remember what color I'm doing the interior. Like even now, like everybody feels like you have to go frame off. You have to do this. You have to do that. Listen, if it doesn't fit your budget,
you don't have to.
Do what fits your budget.
100%. 100. I tell people all the time too, and I'm going to give you a perfect example because I deal with it on a lot. So I'll get people that call me. They're like, "Oh, so what did X, Y, and Z, like I don't want to name drop, do to theirs?" I'm like, "Listen, we don't got to go that far. Like,
right.
What do you want to do? Like, where are we trying to go with this whole thing? Like, it doesn't matter what they did or what they spent. Like, leave that alone. Like, that's irrelevant. Like, this isn't their car and this is your car. Like, what are we doing with your car? Like, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like there's so much low-key competition that it's like, come on, man. Like, we don't got to do that. Everybody can have clean cars.
Right.
Everybody. Right. You have your twist on yours. He has his twist on his. And guess what? They're both clean. And they're both beautiful builds. And they're both get respect. So it's like at the end of the day, like, stop focusing on what the next person is building and build what makes you happy.
Well, too, like Ross said, everybody's in different levels. It's like being in different tax brackets, right? I may be able to afford to go spend $200,000 on building a car, but will I? Hell no. I'm not doing it. Yeah. But I'm not judging somebody who does, because what they eat don't make me. You get what I'm saying? That's
100%.
their thing to do what they want to do. I'm not willing to spend $200,000 on building a car because I have other things that I can do with my money. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But I'm also not trying to keep up with you.
Yep.
So,
And that's another thing. Like, there's no point to try to keep up with the next person. Like, at the end of the day, like you said, everybody's in their own lane, in their own bracket. And, like, it might take somebody 5 years to build their car. It might take someone 5 months to build their car.
right.
And that doesn't make neither one of the builds any different.
Right.
Like, to me, like, you're both dedicated and have a love and passion for building cars. So I'll respect you just as much as it took you 5 years and you did it yourself, or you did it in 5 months and you paid all the best shops in the world to do it. Like, it doesn't matter. It's at the end of the day, you still love your car. You do what you did and you wanted your car a certain way. So,
Right. I actually would wish that I kind of could had the cheat code like a lot of you guys. Y'all can work on motors. Y'all can paint. Y'all can do. I wish, like heck, instead of in school taking up home economics, I took up auto mechanics.
one thing my dad always told me, and that was the reason why he got into the automotive world, is because it's never going to go away.
Right.
Like, even if cars start to fly, like, the person in flying car A is not going to want to be the same as flying car B. So there's
Right.
always going to be the custom aspect of it. So that's how I kind of look at powder coating also. Like, it's never, like, I feel like the market's never going to go anywhere. I feel like it's really, like, the custom aspect of it right now is really starting to get the ball rolling. And, like, with all the custom coders we have now pushing the limits, like I said, I'm excited for the next couple of years of powder coating, because what we're about to see and what these guys, I call them artists, because at the end of the day, like, what we do is an art form. And, like, where they get, like, creativity, like doing, like, the bowling ball style paint jobs with powder, and doing, like, splatter effects, two tones, like mixing powders, doing crazy detailed jobs. Like, to me, is insane. Like, at the end of the day, like, we're literally working with a bag of powder. It is nothing different than baby powder in a jar. Obviously it's different, but it's a powder. So it's like we're bringing a powder and making it into an art. So
I can't wait till, because you told me I got a job, so I can't wait till I come work with
you're
you.
more than welcome. Like I said, just come January or February, because you ain't gonna like the rest of these months up here. It's brutal.
You know, what's the craziest job you've ever done? The craziest thing you've ever powder coated? And you was like, really?
Um, bathtub, a metal
Somebody wanted
bath,
that bathtub powder
a
coated?
bathtub. I've done a bathtub, a fire hydrant. Um, I don't know. Most of the stuff I do is car related, so it's not really crazy.
Right.
But yeah, like, random things like that to me. Like, someone came to me with a steel bathtub and they wanted powder coating. And I'm like, all right, whatever, sure.
For their house?
Okay. Yeah.
Now listen, that's somebody that just got money just to throw
Nah,
away.
they wanted a black bathtub.
Oh, you can't buy a black
I
bathtub?
guess at that time they couldn't get the one they wanted in black, and they could only get it in stainless and something, and they needed it black. So you're gonna get a black bathtub.
Whoever that is, tell them KP said she gonna be like them when she grow up.
Yeah. So, but I mean, most of the stuff, like, that I get to do is what I love every day. So, like, I get to do like, car frames. I do a lot of donk stuff. I do a lot of truck stuff. I go real crazy with the four-wheelers, like the Banshees and stuff, because to me it's like a very blank portfolio, because they're wide open. You could see the whole thing. Like, I put a lot of work into, like, doing the detail aspect of it. So, like, on the cars and stuff, like, once the car's all closed, you really don't get to appreciate it, to where, like, a four-wheeler or a Banshee or something that's very visible, like, you could see it all the time. So to me, is like, that's where I go, like, extra crazy on some of the details. But, like, if you got underneath Nava's car or Super Kid's car, like, you could go under there and look at the details like crazy, but, like, you have to get underneath it, or it has to be on jack stands for it to be seen. So there's, like, little things like that. I try a lot of crazy things. Like, if you look at some of my posts, like, I try, like, that whole little spring idea that I have, where I do, like, the line around it and stuff, like, that's my signature. like that was never done before. I tried doing that. I won that one competition they did with that whole thing. So it's like, to me, like I try to get real creative with it. I try to push the bar. I try to, like I said, I'm that person that, like, you tell me that stove's hot, I'm gonna touch it. So like, we don't know the endless opportunities of powder coating right now, and I push them every day.
Right. What's the downside of what you do?
The heat.
That's it.
The heat.
Just the heat.
Other than that, it's brutal. Like, I have an oven that is 20 foot long, 10 foot wide, 8 foot tall, and it runs at 400 degrees.
But that's in like one part of the building, so you go to another part of the building to escape the heat.
It doesn't really, no.
Oh wow.
It's just leave a house oven open in the kitchen all day. You know how the kitchen gets all hot and it's just hot, junky all day.
That's crazy. Whew.
But that's how it works. Like, it's all statically charged. Like, you'll see it when you come by. Like, it's crazy how the whole process works. Like, the way the gun gets the powder to the part, and like the ground, and how it completes the circuit. And it's just, when I first got into it and I started really doing it, I was just like, what? No way. Like, this is crazy right now.
Do you now, or have you ever thought about teaching classes?
I don't. I help people when I can. Like I said, this is something, to me, like, I can tell I can explain how to powder coat to people. I can give you but like, it's like painting. So like, powder coating in South Florida is going to be different than powder coating in Texas or New York, because the climates are different. The temperatures are different. Humidity is different. So like, there's a lot that changes it. So like, my ways of doing it here might not work for you. And then I give you the way I do it, and you're like, this guy sucks, because it just doesn't work there. You get what I'm saying? So it's very, like, if I had to give anybody advice, like, it's just to learn to fail. Like, get a powder coating setup and try until you figure it out, what works best for you and your situation.
Right. You know, what another thing I will say, what's your take on the, not so much, I haven't really heard a lot of negative when it comes to the powder coating side, but what's your take on when people are having all these issues when it comes to shops? Like, people saying, now, granted, I have worked at a very popular shop here in Atlanta, so I know sometimes customers lie, right? But what about when these people's cars are being held in jail, and they're current on their payments, and it's just so many people having so many problems with shops. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm gonna put it down to you. I'm gonna boil it down to this: a good shop's gonna have a wait, no matter what, straight up and down. If it's a reputable shop, they don't have free time. That's just honest truth, because they have free time, they're not reputable in my eyes. Like, if I walk into the barber shop, right, on a Saturday for a haircut, and 4 of the guys got 5 people in front of me, and the one guy has nobody waiting, no harm, no foul.
You don't want your haircut by him.
I'm waiting for the to be the 5th person over here. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's just one of those things. Like, that's the easiest way for me to put it. Like, greatness takes time. Right. I always tell people you can't rush greatness. So in that aspect, like, especially with the hype in the car culture right now, like, you have to understand, like, a lot of these cars are older cars. The parts aren't snap my fingers and they're here. So it's like, it's a hard subject to kind of speak on, because, like you said, there's 3 sides to every story: shop, customer, and the truth. So it's really, like I said, it's hard. And like, being a shop owner and like making sure you keep up with the demand and keep up with your time schedule and everything, like, life happens. Like, look at what I went through. Like, would I ever thought, like, I would have got a crazy heat rash from what I love doing? No, but it happened. So it's like you can't control certain things. And like one thing I tell people all the time, like if you're building an old school car, don't give yourself a time frame, because then guess what? You're never going to stress yourself about a time frame.
Right.
Just go with the flow. Get it done. When it's done, go here. When it's done, go here. When it's done, go there. And it's like they see, like, and I get it. They see some people will build a car and it'll be done in 6 months, but they also don't know that person scheduled this whole build for a whole year prior to that 6 months.
Right.
I'm going from powder coat to paint to interior to music, and I'm going to be done in 6 months.
Right.
But he spent a year setting that 6 months up. So there's
Right.
a lot of behind the scenes stuff too that like people don't understand.
And 9 times
So
they put crazy money into it to be able to,
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. What would you tell somebody looking to get into your industry other than be prepared to fail?
It's endless opportunities. It's all about standing behind what you do, putting out a quality product, and standing behind what you do. Because like we were talking about this in the group chat earlier, in our powder coating group chat. Like there's 25, 30 powder coating shops in South Florida.
Hey.
Maybe more.
A lot, yeah.
Maybe more. And like I don't think I do anything different than anybody else. I just take a lot of pride in what I do, and people respect the pride and the passion. So it's like at the end of the day, find your niche and go after it. So like if you get into powder coating and you're into the import scene, or you're into the four-wheeler scene or whatever, find your little niche and just go conquer that niche. Don't worry about coating everything, and don't worry about being everybody's powder coater.
Right. But I can say, let me tell you something. Ever since I known you, you ain't had no shortage of work. And you haven't been, how long have you been doing this?
4 years.
And that is not a long time.
No.
That is
I get
crazy.
people, the crazy part is like I get coders all the time. They've been coding 10, 15, 20 years, and they're like, man, I wouldn't have even thought of half the ideas you came up with in a short amount of time. But it's like I said, like I found my happy place. I found my life calling, and it happened at whenever it happened in my life, and it just was one of those things. And like when something clicks, it clicks. And like from the time I picked up a powder gun, it just clicked, and I just never.
I forget. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead.
I forget who had that saying, but they say if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
And that's the honest truth. I didn't believe it. But I believe it now.
So you don't feel like you're working?
No. I have fun. Like I have
That's
fun
dope.
every day. Like to me, like I mean, it's coming soon. Like I'm gonna do a YouTube series and stuff. But like if people see how like we get down in the shop every day, like it's a fun vibe. Like we have fun. Like to me, it's all about you get at what you put out, you get back. So you walk into that shop with good vibes and positive energy, like you're crushing today. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Even if something goes wrong, it's not going to affect it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you just got to accept it. It is what it is. It's like I could redo that part. It's not the end of the world. Like start it over. Oh well. What am I going to cry over spilled milk? No.
Yeah, but like you said, you gotta, once you mess up powder coating, you gotta strip the whole part again.
But it's part, like I know what I signed up for.
Yeah.
It's like building a race car and crying when the motor blows up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I knew what I got into.
Right. That's crazy. I want to tell you, like I said, again, I believe in giving people their flowers. I appreciate just the type of person you are when it comes to me, the other ladies in the car, or just people in general. Like you really, truly treat people well, and I appreciate that. For me, I'm not a powder coater. I don't own a shop. I don't have all the stuff going on that some people have going on. But you treat me no different than I guess anybody else, and I appreciate that.
Always. And like I'm big on like nobody's different than anybody else.
Right.
Like we're all human. Right. Like we're all at the end of the day, like someone's situation might be different than yours, and someone might have more than you, or someone might have less. And what's that matter? Like if I can give you one word of encouragement and make your day better, and you pass that forward to the next person, and it just keeps going, like I feel like I did enough.
Right.
Like, so that's how I look at life. I'm very big on just being real, genuine, and enjoying our time here, because life is crazy. So it's like you gotta just accept it all, enjoy it, have fun with it.
So there's a saying I have, that there people always say there are no good people in the world. And if you can't find a good person, be a good person. And I truly feel like in my heart of hearts, you're a good person. And so, like I said, I appreciate you because
Thank you.
I know you're one of those people. Say it again.
No, I said thank you.
Yeah, you're one of those people that I just feel like if something happened and I was down in your area, I could call you and you'll be like, "Where you at? I'm coming to get you." You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And I don't feel like that about a whole lot of people.
100%. I'm the type of person, if I see someone on the side of the road and they're struggling with changing a flat tire, I'm pulling over to help them. Like, that's just me. I got a heart of gold, and sometimes it's put me in situations I probably shouldn't have been in, but would I change it? No. I'm not going to change the way I am. Like, it is what it is. Like, I went through that experience for a reason, but you can't change being a good-hearted person.
Right. Those were all my questions. What would you like for your fans, followers, supporters, hell, I guess even your haters to know about you?
Listen, I don't want no haters. It ain't never no hate, ain't never no.
Well, you're great, so you don't have them.
Yeah, but
Pop it, Chris.
But in all honesty, first off, I want to say thank you to everybody that rocks with me, that supports me. It truly is a blessing. I appreciate every job, big or small, whether it's 2 lug nuts or a whole complete donk build. Like, I literally, like, people got to understand, like, I express myself through every one of these jobs, and I take full pride in all of this. And I'm always here to help, whether it's big, small, little. Like, I get coders that call me from local coders and like, hey, do you have this color in stock? It's like, yeah, I do, come get it type person. So just like one of those things, like, I truly appreciate everybody. Big support, little support, repost, whatever it is. Like, I have so much more to show everybody. And there's so much dope that's about to come. Like, I have so many sick jobs coming up that I'm excited about. Some big stage jobs. We're doing a real big booth for the Top 5 Car Show. Me and Phoenix are cooking up something really crazy for that one. I'm excited about. Definitely won't be any pictures or anything of it until the car show, so you'll have to be there to see that one. But yeah, that's exciting. Other than that, I mean, like I said, I appreciate the support. I try to stay active on social media, so I try to show everybody what we have going on the daily, from, like I said, the big jobs to the small jobs. I do accept people shipping parts to me, so if you're anywhere in the country and you want something done, just give me a ring, DM, whatever. I'll be glad to knock that out for you.
I'm shipping my frame.
Come home, bring it. I ain't scared of a good time. So, but yeah, other than that, we're releasing a merchant. I'm gonna have merch soon. I'm doing a whole T-shirt line, all that stuff. Just something, because I know there's people that want to support without having work done, and I respect that. Like, I can't say thank you enough for that type of stuff. So I'm gonna make sure I take care of all those people. I'm gonna get back to doing the cups again, because that was a fun thing to do. Just got a little bit busy, and it's like hard to juggle all that stuff, but I'm going to make sure I do all that again, because I appreciate that support also. And then other than that, like, I don't know. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you for having me. I appreciate you always good to talk to you. I know we talk on the back line a lot and this and that, but it's always good to have people like you doing what you do for the culture. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just getting ready for this storm.
Got your back.
Always.
I do have one last question. When you're no longer doing this, what do you want your legacy to be?
I want to say one of the best to ever do it, but I think I want to be the best to ever do
I know that's right. Pop your
it. So yeah, I mean, other than that, no, I just want to be known as one of the most genuine, good-hearted coders in the world that actually loves this and has a passion for it. I've got a couple people have said, and it's came about a couple times, and like customers come by with sayings and this and that. And, like the new one going around is the Picasso with powder. So we're rocking with it.
Put that
We're
on a
rocking
shirt.
with it.
Put that on a shirt. I'm a co-sign. I stamp that.
Yeah, so we're rocking with it now. So we always come. They always come
Ricardo
with crazy
Picasso.
little saying. So yeah, I mean that's where we're at now. But yeah, I mean other than that, like I said, thank you always. Whenever you get the parts ready for your car, send them this way. I'll make sure I take care of them for you.
Don't tell them too much. You know
Nah, we ain't saying nothing. I don't even know what color we picked. Remember?
Listen, that's so crazy that I showed you what color my interior was gonna be.
You
I
did.
don't even remember.
Because we were going over
so
the door sills and stuff.
Oh wow, I do remember that.
Yeah, I don't forget.
But somebody asked me the other day what color my interior was gonna be. I was like, I picked it out so long ago. Stitched by Slick no, but I don't know. So somebody else knows as well. Well, listen, Chris, I appreciate it. It's always fun talking to you. I gotta say, I look forward to seeing all the work that you're gonna do, that you have done and what you're gonna do, because you do some amazing work.
Thank you.
I'm just blessed to be able to call you my friend. I
right
love
back
what
at you.
Thank you. I love what you do, and keep on doing what you do.
That's the game plan.
All right. Thank you so much.
Have a great night, KP.
Hey, stay safe.
That's the game. That we're going to try to do that there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye. So, guys, if y'all missed any of tonight's episode of Rides and Vibes, make sure you catch the full replay on YouTube. You can do that by clicking the link in my bio. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you have a lot to catch up on, because we've been doing Rides and Vibes now for over 5 years. September 2nd, 2019 was the first show of Rides and Vibes. So you guys have a lot to catch up on. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's episode of Rides and Vibes, and I will see you guys next Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night.